Pranam all parents.
Pranam everyone. Pranam sir.
So how are you doing?
Good.
Thank you for coming on a Sunday. Yeah, I know Teolerites work even on Sundays, which is fantastic. So, ma'am, one thing I thought I'll discuss with you, and one thing I wanted to address post our PTM yesterday. Many parents reached out to me, and they were discussing that we do have these accelerated batches, whether we call them NMTC, whether we call them NTSC, IPMAT, JEE, right? We are doing a lot of extra stuff in these batches. I think one thing which parents definitely want to know is there are some children who may not be up the learning curve yet, but they want to do better, right? So they really want to accelerate their learning and expect a lot of help from school. So maybe we should communicate with parents what exactly are we doing for such children who are right now not at the learning curve where we would want them to be, but clearly aspiring to be there.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe you could start and then I could add a little bit. So what are we doing in primary, and maybe then I'll add in. I can also share what are we doing in middle classes as well.
Yeah. So in primarily we have formed a cohesive group where the children are of a similar level right now, so that it becomes easier for us to bring them up. And the second thing and most important thing that we would be doing, we are doing there, is that we are providing them extra support in terms of more teachers. And
so I think the logic for this, what Jaya ma'am just said, is see, the most important thing that we need to take care of as a teacher is the pace of learning, right? The pace of learning has to be adjusted according to the child. So what happens is, if there are kids with different pace of learning who are seated together, then the learning becomes ineffective or inefficient, I would rather say. So as Jaya ma'am was talking about a cohesive group, it's a similar group. It's a cohort-based education system that I've always spoken about, where we try and pace ourselves in line with what the children expect us or where the children are at this point in time. So for example, if we believe that these kids need about 15 lectures to understand division, then we would give them 15 lectures for division, plus we will also give them 3 to 4 lectures for revision of division, right? That's what exactly you were trying to say.
Yeah.
And what it does is, see, at Teoler, we've always believed that nurture is far more powerful than nature. So all kids have the capability. Some kids may need a little more time to pick up things, right? And some kids may pick up a little early. But they can pick up everything. However difficult a concept might be, given the right amount of effort and given the right amount of dedication by the teacher, I think at least at the younger ages, it's very easy for children to pick up things.
Yeah, I agree completely. And that is why we have this.
So what is the difference in the pace? So when you're saying that the pace of learning will be different, again, right? So for kids who need extra support, kids who are not at that point on the learning curve, how many extra classes can we provide?
Depending on the topic, depending on the subject, and depending on the importance of that particular topic and subject, we would devote more time. We see that the child has learned that the basic fundamental which is required for that particular grade. Has the child learned that? Whatever time it takes, so we would give that, and then only we can move forward. Otherwise, we will not be doing justice to the children also. So important things and basic fundamental topics which are there, which we keep on building on each year, then those things obviously have to be cleared at that level. And we devote more time to that as per that need. Maybe 2 periods, maybe 3 periods.
But then you end up sacrificing activities.
At times, yes. But we do that, obviously, taking the parent into consideration, asking their permission, and trying to not cut down on too many activities, because all children need activities. They look forward to these things. So obviously, we don't cut down on all activities. Sports and everything is very, very important for children. So we do those. But yes, wherever required, if we have to cut down on some, we do.
And parents, very recently, what we have also started doing is, we have started giving more teachers. We have, in fact, what we are doing is, we are planning to do this year is, we will further divide these children into very small groups, right? So groups of 4 children, 5 kids, right? And then we have clearly assigned responsibilities to selected teachers to sit down with these children and teach them on a, at a very small group level. That also, we believe will improve the efficiency and will improve the learning levels of the students.
Definitely. Yeah.
Right? Another thing, I think most of the parents already know that there are, if we realize that there is a particular child or particular section which is behind the learning curve, we provide extra teachers in that section. So there are multiple sections in Teoler where we have 3 teachers and not 2. Just to ensure that one teacher is supporting the child. See, what happens is, sometimes the child is not able to copy the work completely. Sometimes the child needs, maybe those 2 minutes extra. And when there is a full-time teacher there, that teacher provides these things to the students. And it becomes really, really very effective if this extra teacher is there. And now with further subdivision into smaller groups, I think there is a very, very good chance that the teaching will become far more effective, and we'll be able to meet our learning targets much more efficiently.
There will be much more individual attention given with another teacher and then small groups.
Right.
So obviously, each and every child will get that attention from the teacher, and it impacts the learning of the child.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Is there something, Jaya ma'am, that we expect from the parents?
Our expectation from parents, obviously, patience, the most important thing. We are there for the child. We are trying from our side.
Yeah.
And the expectation from parents here, especially in the primary section, would be that they should be regularly monitoring the child's progress. Anywhere the child is not able to understand something and they come across something which we have not, then they should let us know. We are there to help the
Absolutely.
child. But yes, support, in terms of support, that is the expectation which we would have. Regular monitoring plus keep in touch with us. Let us know if the child needs anything extra to be done.
Right. I give this example to many kids and many parents. Building a career, or rather, being on the learning curve, achieving some academic objectives or targets is like building a brick wall. If there are 1000 bricks which are required to build a wall, 1000 bricks are required to build a wall. There is no magic wand that you can create a wall with 500 bricks if it needs 1000 bricks. So as Jaya was saying, patience. You need to put one brick at a time. Sometimes you can put the bricks at a very fast pace, rapid pace. Sometimes you need to put it a little slowly so that the wall can be balanced. So I think with these particular sections, what we are doing is we are trying to balance it. We are trying to slow down the process a little bit, but we are making sure that we are putting all the bricks one at a time, right? Yeah. And I think one last thing, parents, no one is perfect, right? Our kids are not perfect. We are not perfect. We are trying to do a better job. We are trying to do a good job with our children. The biggest support that we look for, as Jaya ma'am just said, in case you realize your child needs something extra, anything, the child needs help in division, subtraction, fractions, English topics, please do send us a diary note. Just drop us a diary note. We will make sure we provide extra classes to the children, right? We are also contemplating some extended hours for primary students this year, but again, it's work in progress, and we will get back to you if something like that happens. But broadly, please rest assured, whether the child is ahead of the learning curve, whether the child is on the learning curve, whether the child is slightly behind the learning curve, Teoler stands with every single child. We make sure that we work honestly with every child at the pace where the child expects us to be at, right? The pace is not necessarily determined by the teacher or the school. The pace has to be determined by the child. And a good teacher and a good school will start moving or will start adapting to the pace at which the child is learning. I think that's more or less it.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you, parents. I hope this session will help you. We will keep on coming with a lot of sessions like this. Thank you for the support, and thank you for being there for us.